Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including new price cuts, Tesla's new faster charging Model Y, the 3-minute charging EV battery, and more. So let's get into it, and a special thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. First up today, Tesla continues to slash prices, and the latest one is for the rear-wheel drive Model 3 in inventory. It used to be that if you found the exact configuration you wanted in inventory, it would be the same price as if you had built it through their configurator, and you were lucky to get it since they were hard to get. Earlier this month, though, they increased their configurator prices to create a discount on cars in inventory. Now they've decreased inventory prices to widen that gap. They dropped it down below $40,000 to $39,030. Tesla is known for continuously adjusting their vehicle prices to be in line with the national average, and that average in the US is around $48,000 now. When Tesla unveiled the Model 3 in 2016, Elon said it was going to start at $35,000. Since then, that's been the case a few times, but for the most part, this car has started around $40,000 at its lowest. The standard range Model 3 that started at $35,000 was only available for a total of 18 months. Now, though, these rear-wheel drive Model 3s in inventory are almost back down to that promised price after incentives, which means even more when considering inflation. $35,000 in March of 2016 has the buying power today of about $44,500 after several years of extreme inflation in the US. That means even a newly configured rear-wheel drive Model 3 has effectively achieved Tesla's price target. Then, when you factor in federal and state incentives, it's even more affordable. This model qualifies for a $3,750 federal tax credit, and many states in the US, especially California, offer even more discounts. Tesla is continuing to grow as well, and an economy of scale is likely going to mean even more affordable vehicles. They're currently ramping production at their Giga Berlin, Shanghai, and Texas factories, and they're expected to hit a production rate of 1.8 million vehicles this year. A majority of those are going to be Model 3s and Ys. On top of those factories ramping, they're also scoping out new factory locations. They seem to be considering France and India as possible locations, and are already moving forward with Mexico. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a hit mobile hero collection RPG played by over 80 million players across the world. Now, Raid Shadow Legends is getting its own animated limited series called Raid Call of the Arbiter. More backstory, lore, and a glimpse into the wider world of the game's setting is here, and it's available to watch for free in the game. Episode 1 is out, and new episodes are coming out every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Watching the show makes the whole gameplay experience more immersive, and as a musician myself, I love hearing the score. Plus, they're doing a ton of cool player-friendly events and content drops to celebrate, including in-game events and the chance to get one of the characters from the show as a playable legendary champion for free through their 7-day loyalty program. Artok, one of the 5 new characters from the show, is a free playable legendary champion if you log into Raid for 7 days between now and July 24th. If you haven't played Raid yet, use the link in the description below or scan the QR code to get insane bonuses like the Knight Errant champion from the Bannerlords faction, and find me under the name Ryan Shaw Tech. Beyond their increasing production rate, Tesla might have another reason to be dropping prices on older Model 3s in inventory. We've seen a lot of leaks that suggest they'll be releasing a refreshed Model 3 soon. The quote, Project Highland Model 3 was spotted in testing in Palo Alto in April, and we've even seen leaks of the new interior. If this refresh brings a lot of improvements over the models currently in inventory, people aren't going to want to buy the old one, so they could be discounting these in order to try to thin out their inventory. It's also possible, though, that Tesla is just doing some routine inventory management. According to data gathered by inventory tracker Matt Jung, the number of Model 3s in inventory has been steadily increasing since March. We can also see that the Model X continues to increase in inventory, and Tesla has also discounted that by over $1,500. Regardless of their reasoning here, this is good news for anyone in the market for Tesla's most affordable vehicle, and we'll have to see how this develops when a potentially new Model 3 comes out in a few months. Next up today, Tesla has started building Model Ys with new battery packs made by China's BYD, and it seems to be a noticeable improvement over similar Model Ys. Tesla reportedly started using BYD's blade battery technology at Giga Berlin last year. Most had doubts about this, but it seems that they have truly proceeded here. These are LFP cells packaged in a long blade-like design that's completely different from Tesla's in-house 4680 cells, or the 2170 cells most of their cars have come with thus far. Now, Tesla owners in Germany have discovered some improved specs. This data, comparing a Model Y with a CATL battery to a Model Y with the new BYD battery, actually, is showing that charge times may have decreased. Each was plugged in at just over a 10% state of charge, and then again at just over 20%. The BYD pack appears to maintain a higher level of charge for longer compared to the CATL pack, and it also maintains its peak charging speed for longer. Ultimately, a charging curve is the most important thing when it comes to EV charging speeds. Peak speeds are exciting to hear about, like cars with 350 kilowatt charging, but if it only hits 350 kilowatts for a couple minutes, it doesn't matter too much. Here, as you can see, both batteries start out at about the same peak charging rate, but the CATL battery drops off almost immediately after plugging in. Conversely, the BYD battery doesn't drop off until 35% and 50%. Then its charging rate decreases at the same rate as the CATL battery, meaning that the first 20% of the charging session will be faster without sacrificing charging speeds for the rest of the cycle. So the overall charging time of the vehicle should be noticeably shorter, even if it's a small difference. Charging speeds, however, can be impacted by a variety of factors, so this isn't a perfect science. For example, if it was cold outside when the CATL battery was plugged in and slightly warmer when the BYD battery was plugged in, that would explain what we're seeing here, but that curve looks very good regardless. I'd be interested to see this same test done in a proven controlled environment to see if these new batteries do actually perform better in all scenarios. It's very interesting to see this though, since Tesla has been pretty firm on cylindrical cells. Now that they are building a Model Y with blade batteries, it's proving to charge faster than Tesla's other vehicles, and it could show legitimacy of other form factors in EVs long term. What we're clearly seeing with EVs as a whole though is the need for more battery cells. Along that process of scaling up though, there will be constant innovations to improve battery density, cost, and charging speed. That slight speed upgrade may not look like much, but little improvements like this will compound a ton over time, leading to even more ideal charging times when on a road trip. As for future battery technology though, there's a new battery coming from Prieto that promises to charge in minutes. This is the latest prototype of their patented 3D interdigitated battery, and it promises many improvements, including a 3-minute hyperfast charge, better performance at low and high temperatures, and more. While so far EVs take longer to fill up than gas cars, the CEO of Prieto, Mike Rosenberg, says these batteries actually charge faster than it would take to fill up a tank of gas. They also claim that these batteries are non-flammable. Quote, "These transformative features promise to redefine power storage and usage, providing consumers a superior experience." According to Prieto, conventional batteries are trapped in a decades-old design dilemma, juggling between energy storage and fast charging. The revolutionary 3D architecture shortens ion pathways, allowing for hyper-speed charging and significantly increased power and energy storage. On top of these charging advantages, they also claim these batteries deliver up to 5 times the power density and 3 times the energy density of traditional batteries. Prieto is currently working towards a pilot manufacturing facility, which is great to see. As always, these battery advancements come with 2 responses. On one side, this is incredible and awesome to see. Advancements like this will be awesome long-term for all battery-powered devices, and electric cars in particular. On the other side, this is a prototype promising a lot, and EVs take a ton of proving and scaling before they can use a battery cell type like this. That said, we are seeing multiple types of cells these days, like 4680 cells and BYD blade batteries, that bring certain advantages, so I don't think we should immediately count these out. These may be able to be scaled in the coming years, and paired with great charging infrastructure could make EVs even more reasonable for all consumers. As we're clearly seeing as well, if the superior technology is available, Tesla will absolutely put it in their cars, just like they're doing with BYD blade batteries. Next up today, Tesla is now confirmed to be selling the Made in China Model 3 and Y in Canada. This was originally reported last month and raised some questions as to why Tesla would import their Model Y from China into Canada instead of shipping it from their much closer Fremont factory. One clear giveaway though was the configuration. This is a Model Y standard range rear-wheel drive, a configuration they don't currently make in the United States. It is confirmed from their VINs as well that both the standard rear-wheel drive Model Y and long-range all-wheel drive Model 3 in Canada are coming from Gigafactory Shanghai. A ton of them are already showing up in inventory, and vessel tracking data shows another large shipment from China should be arriving in Canada in the coming weeks. Reports say they plan to ship as many as 10,000 vehicles to North America this quarter. Most of those apparently are going to end up in Canada. A big reason behind this change is because these cars still qualify for a 5,000 Canadian dollar federal incentive, and the location of manufacture does not matter for that incentive. Quote, "Tesla's move to export to Canada from Shanghai could help it keep vehicles made at its plants in California and Texas for sale in the United States, where they qualify for potential tax incentives of up to $7,500 under the Biden administration's subsidy program. This also gives Tesla a place to put potentially excess inventory out of China. That factory is Tesla's most productive, and it's continuously growing, so exporting to Canada gives that factory a new market. Tesla Tesla is able to focus on US production for delivery in the US, where those cars qualify for incentives, and able to take some Chinese production and direct it towards Canada, where they also qualify for incentives. If they were to flip those, the Chinese-made cars would not qualify for incentives in the United States. At Tesla, their Chinese-made cars are actually some of their best when it comes to fit and finish, so this could end up a great move for Canadian customers for incentives and build quality, but we'll have to see. Overall, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm curious to see how long this has been in the works. Reuters reported that Tesla was considering this all the way back in November. At the time, Elon Musk simply said false. Now it's coming true, and it'd be interesting to find out how this change occurred. Perhaps Elon was just lying here, or Tesla wasn't planning to at the time and has since changed course. A lot can happen at Tesla in 6 months. Next up today, Tesla shared a new video of their Optimus robot, and it's starting to seem like a viable product. When it was first introduced, it almost seemed like a joke, and then a year later, it didn't seem to have made a whole lot more progress, on the front of mobility at least, especially compared to others like Atlas from Boston Dynamics. Last year, Elon claimed that it was a top priority for Tesla, even though it had seemed like a background project until that point. Then at AI Day 2022, it walked onto the stage independently and waved at the audience. They shared a video of a different prototype performing other tasks, but that one wasn't able to walk yet. Now at Tesla's 2023 shareholder meeting, they've shared another update. It looks like they're working on several different prototypes that each focus on a different quality and skill that the final product will then possess. One version appears to be able to walk around by itself and is spatially aware. There's a resemblance between the way this one navigates the Tesla campus and the way Tesla Vision works in their FSD software. They've also been working on improving its motor skills, and you can see here a demonstration that it can control how much pressure it applies to an object. Essentially, it can feel when it's touching something and can be calibrated to be gentle. Then using 3D models, it can learn routines from human demonstration. As of right now, it seems like this is mainly able to reproduce the motions that are made by the human teacher. That said, it is taking those motions and applying them to new situations. It isn't being directly operated by a person. Tesla improving their AI for Optimus will directly correlate to progress made on their FSD software. As for Optimus becoming a viable product for Tesla to sell, that'll likely take at least a few more years, if not longer. They've made a lot of progress in the last year though, so I wouldn't underestimate them here. I do think Tesla will eventually be producing these robots for sale to various industries to replace some repetitive or dangerous tasks. The only obstacle they'll have to overcome is producing them cheaply enough to make them affordable for buyers, and that's where their automotive business will be an advantage. They figured out how to make efficient and well-designed EVs, and they'll do the same for these bots. Since this video was posted though, the CEO of Boston Dynamics has spoken about it in a podcast. Boston Dynamics, now owned by Hyundai, was founded in 1999 and has since developed Atlas, one of the most advanced robots in the world, along with several other robots intended to work in industrial environments. A few years ago, they went viral with this video of all of their prototypes showing off impressive dexterity, dancing to Do You Love Me? While their focus has been on developing new technology rather than creating consumer products, they do view Tesla as competition. In response to the Tesla bot, he said, quote, "It brought a bright light to the work we have been doing for over a decade, and I think that's only going to help. In fact, what we have seen, in addition to Tesla, we have seen a proliferation of robotic companies arise. It has brought excitement. Competitive juices are flowing. It's all good." He then added, Elon has seen the same thing. He is talking about using the robots in a manufacturing environment. We think there's something very interesting there about having a two-arm robot. He further noted that Tesla is indeed in a great position to leverage what they've learned from car manufacturing into their robots. Boston Dynamics, though, does have the benefit of being backed by Hyundai, who is now making very compelling EVs. Oftentimes we see people laugh about the Tesla bot and then show a video of how far along Boston Dynamics is, but they themselves appear to be recognizing Tesla's progress here. It shows that this very well could develop into something faster than many expect. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Volvo recently teased the EX30, an electric SUV that's smaller than the current XC40. It'll be officially unveiled on June 7th, but we have some details already. Design-wise, it'll have the same iconic headlights that other Volvos have and the taillights of the recently revealed Volvo EX90. The EX30 is also going to be coming with a lot of new safety features, including sensors that make sure you're paying attention to the road and tell you if you're about to hit something when opening your door. It's also rumored to have all new motors and batteries, though the company hasn't confirmed that yet. If it's getting the same parts that parent company Geely has been using for their other recent EVs, EVs, it should get somewhere around a 273-mile range. It's also rumored to start around $50,000, and orders for this car are expected to open in 2024. Chrysler will be going a different direction with their first EV. At CES last year, they unveiled their Airflow concept, which was a sleek crossover design with lots of tech features that would be new for the company. The chief design officer of Stellantis, Chrysler's parent company, said in a recent interview that Chrysler's new brand CEO wanted a statement that had literally zero to do with anything that you have seen today, even the Airflow concept car. It is evolving in a new direction. The new design will be built on the STLA large dedicated EV platform, which offers 400 volts and 800 volts for fast charging and up to 400 miles of driving range. Their first EV is expected to launch in 2025 and could come with some autonomous driving capabilities. It's also possible that they'll be working on an electric version of their iconic 300, but that could come much later. Over at BMW, the i5 sedan was leaked ahead of its unveiling. BYD has been teasing this vehicle since 2017, and now we're finally starting to see prototypes. Last month, they shared camouflaged images of this car undergoing testing, as well as some performance specs. Now, new photos have surfaced on social media with no camouflage. It has a sleek front end that's a departure from the BMW body shape and appears to be a little longer, though that could just be the camera angle. It does still have the company's iconic kidney-shaped grille. As for size, this one will be between the i4 and the i7 that was launched last year, and will share a similar overall design language. They've already started testing this car in extreme weather and on test tracks, and they've said it will come with high-res cameras, radar sensors, and their own software. More and more, we're seeing legacy automakers follow the lead of new EV makers like Tesla and Rivian by developing their own software. The i5 is expected to be officially unveiled this month, and production is slated for this summer with deliveries beginning in October. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see my full review of the 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.